welcome to a brand new episode of the Jampack Report today for August the 26th of 2020. Of course, my name is Samuel Adams, and this is a daily gaming news podcast meant to bring you the hottest news you need to know from around the industry. Hosted on YouTube and podcast services around the world 5 days a week, it is your one-stop shop for everything you need to know. So if you enjoy the show and you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and keep coming back for more. But today we have our official reveal of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which is going to launch on November the 13th, and it is going to be a bit more expensive if you want that next-gen version. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War will arrive later this year on November the 13th and serves as a direct sequel to the original game in the series. Now, of course, this is all going to be one big update on yesterday's show, which did share the rumors that it was going to be a direct sequel to Black Ops 1, but we have more information with today's big reveal. Prior to the game's full reveal in Call of Duty Warzone, images and key pieces of information for the shooter leaked via digital storefronts. As the rumors we had heard suggested, they write at DualShockers, Black Ops Cold War is a direct sequel, chronologically, to the original Call of Duty Black Ops. Characters like Frank Woods and Alex Mason make their return, with the game taking place during the early 1980s. Accompanying modes such as multiplayer and zombies will be coming back too. Here is a full description of the game as a whole, which I will note was also included on yesterday's show. The iconic Black Ops series is back with Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, the direct sequel to the original and fan favorite Call of Duty Black Ops. Black Ops Cold War will drop fans into the depths of the Cold War's volatile geopolitical battle of the early 1980s. Nothing is ever as it seems in a gripping single-player campaign where players will come face-to-face with historical figures and hard truths as they battle around the globe through iconic locales like East Berlin, Vietnam, Turkey, Soviet KGB headquarters, and more. As elite operatives, you will follow the trail of a shadowy figure named Perseus, who is on a mission to destabilize the global balance of power and change the course of history. Descend into the dark center of this global conspiracy alongside iconic characters Woods, Mason, and Hudson, and a new cast of operatives attempting to stop a plot decades in the making. Beyond the campaign, players will bring a Cold War arsenal of weapons and equipment into the next generation of multiplayer and zombies experiences. Perhaps most importantly, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is also confirmed to launch on November the 13th for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. It will then seemingly launch in tandem with both next-gen consoles and the PS5 and Xbox Series X, depending on when both platforms release. Speaking of each next-gen console, Activision will also be going down a bit of a different route when it comes to upgrading current-gen versions of Black Ops Cold War to those on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. Rather than doing a free upgrade, purchasers will have the chance to spend $69.99 on a cross-gen version of the title. This will give you access to the game on your current-gen platform of choice, with an upgrade to the accompanying next-gen console being possible later on. While players are being asked to spend more money up front, it is better than some other systems that competing publishers have come up with. We are set to see a whole lot more of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War beginning tomorrow at Gamescom Opening Night Live, so stay tuned. Until then, you can check out some of the first screenshots in the upcoming shooter down below. And there you have a quick glimpse. Of course, the formatting is a bit off, but ultimately, you do have a very good-looking game here with Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and you can find it here on the Xbox store if you would like to learn more. But I will say this is exactly what I think a lot of people expect when it comes to a Call of Duty game. Quite frankly, I don't know if there's any other way to put this. It is this year's Call of Duty. When it comes to the subject matter, the Cold War setting, I'm totally down for that, but if you check out the trailer, which of course I will have linked down below, it just looks like another Call of Duty game. That's not to say it's a bad thing. That's not to say that every year has to innovate, but if you are a fan of the tried and true Call of Duty formula, this one is going to be right up your alley. Now, for those curious about multiplayer, a big reveal for that is going to be coming on September the 9th, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming up in a couple of weeks, and of course they have confirmed that Call of Duty Warzone is going to continue receiving support with Black Ops content in the future, but that's not to say your Modern Warfare investments are going away. You'll still have the weaponry, you'll still have the skins, all of that. I'm sure it's going to be much like Fortnite in that it continues to grow and evolve, not necessarily restrict what is possible within your game. Now, as far as the upgrade system goes, this is incredibly convoluted. And if you want to learn more, I believe Wario64 shared a thread that kind of broke down the complexities of this year's upgrades. Essentially, if you have Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War on the Xbox One, it is going to be compatible on the Xbox Series X. And to some degree, backwards compatibility is going to present an issue because, again, you will be able to play the game on next-gen hardware. But if you want the upgrade, the one with the fancy ray tracing, and if you want things to look a little bit better and run smoother, then you'll probably want to get the next-gen version, which, again, is not a free upgrade. You will have to pay either $70 up front or pay $10 later on to do an upgrade. So, with that being said, things are beginning to get a bit dicey. Now, I will say on yesterday's show, I said that $20 seemed reasonable to upgrade. $10 sounds even better to me. That is the next best thing to a $5 upgrade or a free upgrade. So ultimately, no complaints from this guy. And I do want to reiterate something that Corey Cudney said on Twitter, if you want to give him a follow. Basically, this is the same system that we saw towards the beginning of this generation. If you want the PlayStation 3 version of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, you can upgrade to the PlayStation 4 version for $10. That's kind of the way that it was, and that's the way that it is this time around. But according to the team behind the scenes at, I want to say, which outlet was it? Oh man, that is going to bother me. Who was it? $10. I want to say it was the Call of Duty, Charlie Intel. That's who it was. Charlie Intel reported that Activision has confirmed that going forward, all next-gen games are going to cost $70. So if that is true, and if the team at Charlie Intel is reporting accurately, then that could be a major game changer because now you have NBA 2K charging $70 for next-gen games, and on top of that, you have a very important publisher, Activision, charging $70 for next-gen games. So this could set a very, very deep-rooted precedent that could impact the cost of games for the next 10 years or so. And so that is something to take into consideration as well. But the good news is the game is slated to come out, and we will see more about it. I saw some early Zombies footage, I think, as a trailer that they might have released. I don't know if that is completely and totally true, but we'll have to wait and see what these full reveals look like. As far as the campaign goes, today's trailer was captured on the PlayStation 5, and that content looks phenomenal. Looks like a very well-polished game, so I am hoping for the best. But as I said, it is always a good idea to temper your expectations in this season that we're in because COVID-19 can impact development in a variety of ways. So if there are some bugs to begin with, well, you'll just have to keep your eye out, and hopefully the team behind the scenes will squash them. Now, it is also worth pointing out that if you are playing on the PlayStation 4/PlayStation 5, congratulations, Activision still has a deal with the guys at Sony, which means you get early access to the open beta and presumably updates coming out in the future. As we saw with Modern Warfare, this isn't that big of a deal if you do play on PC or you do play on Xbox. Ultimately, it just gives you a little bit of an inconvenience by the measure of a couple of weeks, unless you're talking about a major mode like we saw with Modern Warfare, but even then, that didn't seem to be that big of a deal once the crowds calmed down, so to speak. So that's a lot to break down. Of course, you can find more information on the official press release from Activision or on the official Call of Duty Twitter account, but give that trailer a watch, and I would love to see your thoughts in the comments section down below. But moving on, Fall Guys continues to be a huge hit with a PlayStation Plus record broken. Mediatonic's viral hit Fall Guys has sold more than 7 million copies on Steam and has broken a PlayStation download record. According to PlayStation, the last player standing platformer is now the most downloaded PlayStation Plus game of all time on a global basis. Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout released for PS4 and Steam on August the 4th, with a console version available for free to PlayStation Plus members this month. The Devolver-published game was a hit out of the gate, with a PC version selling over 2 million copies inside a week and 23 million hours watched on Twitch during that same time frame. As reported by PC Games Insider, Fall Guys has been the best-selling game on Steam for 3 consecutive weeks. This week, the game's cosmetic pack was the 5th best-selling title. Fall Guys Season 2 will be revealed at Gamescom Opening Night Live 2020 on Thursday, August the 27th, but developer Mediatonic has said it would love to bring the colorful Last Man Standing game to other platforms in the future. In an update on its support site regarding the possibility of releasing the game for Xbox One, Switch, or other platforms, Mediatonic said, quote, "To start with, Fall Guys will only be available on PS4 and Steam. We would love to bring the game to other platforms further down the line." And I think that you will. This game is absolutely monstrous. It is a game that has taken the internet by storm, and for good reason. It's incredibly fun, and it's incredibly fun to watch. I tweeted earlier about these figures, and I wanted to reiterate what I said on Twitter here on the podcast. This is the perfect storm. You have a game that is legitimately fun as the foundation. That is the most important key for any game to be successful. But on top of that, you have an incredible marketing manager behind the scenes running the social media account on Twitter. On top of that, the game is incredibly streamable, and it's been picked up by some of the largest streamers on Twitch. On top of that, you also created a viral marketing campaign with one of the top streamers on Twitch, Tim the Tatman, to create engagement across platforms to the point that when the man won a match after a countless amount of hours, he was trending. That's wild, okay? You have done so incredibly well with your marketing and with the game itself that it has no option but to be an incredible success, and this is going to easily overtake Rocket League in a variety of ways as the go-to game for a number of years. And I say Rocket League as the example because it too was a free PlayStation Plus game at launch, and it too saw incredible success because the team at Psyonix has really taken that game and run with it to the point that it is now going free to play, and it's going to continue to be a viral hit well into the future. But Fall Guys continues to grow and grow and grow in good form because, man, that is a cool looking game. But a new report has come out that says Xbox's new studio is working on a third-person Perfect Dark game. A journalist claims the initiative is resurrecting the Rare shooter series. That is according to journalist Jeff Grubb, who reportedly made the claim during a podcast chat on Tuesday. If true, it would mark the Rare shooter series' first installment since 2005's Perfect Dark Zero, which released alongside the Xbox 360. The initiative is a new first-party Xbox game studio based in Santa Monica. The company was formed in 2018 and is comprised of a veteran team of creatives who previously worked on series including Tomb Raider, God of War, and Uncharted. Head of Xbox Phil Spencer has previously suggested that the studio could be working on a legacy IP, long speculated to be Rare's spy shooter Perfect Dark, which would match the weapons, gadgets, and a camera surveillance system gameplay described in a recent designer CV. So far, all Xbox has said officially about the initiative's first project is that it has the mandate to create ambitious and innovative game experiences for Xbox. However, in an interview at E3 2018, following the studio's announcement, Phil Spencer did suggest it could have been established to resurrect a legacy Xbox IP. He says, quote, "When studio head Daryl Gallagher left Activision, we started to have a discussion about what he wanted to do next," Spencer said at the time. "I think he really loved his time with Crystal Dynamics, working on Lara Croft and Tomb Raider, kind of reworking some of that franchise. We were talking about some things in our past that might be interesting, nothing to announce yet, but just some things that he might want to go work on." Further fueling speculation, Spencer tweeted in January of this year that he had visited the initiative team and that they were challenging themselves to do new things and old things in new ways. Both Initiative Studio head Gallagher and game director Daniel Neuberger led the Tomb Raider series at Crystal Dynamics, while lead designer Drew Murray held that same role for Insomniac's Sunset Overdrive. The initiative has also hired a group of God of War designers, and its director of production, Brian Westergaard, also worked on God of War as senior managing producer. Late last year, it made Apex Legends weapon designer the latest recruit to its growing development team, and Xbox has indicated that it will reveal the initiative's game project sometime in 2020. It could be this week. We will see what happens. Of course, if you go on Twitter, there was a big tease today that said Xbox Game Studios was going to be revealing some more information during tomorrow's big opening night live, or at least at some point this week during Gamescom 2020. Which means we could be seeing more about what the initiative is working on. For those that are not familiar with Perfect Dark, it is available on Xbox Game Pass. If you have the Rare Replay installed, you can actually go and play the original Perfect Dark titles. But this is essentially a 007-esque kind of game. And it's something that I think could see the same benefits that the Tomb Raider series saw with the reboots that happened between, I want to say, 2013 and 2018, if I remember remember correctly. But that's kind of given a new life to Lara Croft, and I could see the same thing happening for Perfect Dark. That would make a lot of sense. But at the same time, is the title, is Perfect Dark a justifiable use of time for a company of this stature? And I think that if you want the answer to that question, you really should go back to what Phil Spencer was saying during E3 2018. That said that they are reworking old and working on new titles. So that could be multiple projects in the works simultaneously in the same way that you see many development studios doing today, where you have something being worked on that is new and fresh, but also a side project that is going to pay the bills, for lack of a better term. But we will have to stay tuned and see. I would love to see more information revealed at Gamescom 2020, but I will let you guys know if we learn anything new in the next few days. However, a really just incredibly late-breaking story that I just added to today's show: Sony has set up its own PlayStation 5 pre-order page. You can now register your interest to pre-order a PlayStation 5 console directly from Sony, and I want to make it very clear, you cannot pre-order it as of today. The price has not been revealed, the release date has not been revealed, but you can sign up to be notified when that information is available. A new page has been set up on the official PlayStation website, whereby you can input your PSN ID to confirm your interest in the upcoming console, with selection of who can pre-order when the time comes based on your interest in previous PlayStation activities. You will be contacted via email if you are successful, allowing you to pre-order either the standard PS5 or the digital version, 2 DualSense controllers, 2 charging stations, 2 Pulse 3D wireless headsets, 2 media remotes, and 2 HD cameras. Due to limited quantities, you will only be able to pre-order one PlayStation 5 console. Sony recently stated that PlayStation 5 pre-orders would not happen in a hurry, so this is probably just the first step on this journey in terms of getting a console directly from PlayStation. Quote, "I think it's safe to say that we'll let you know when pre-orders happen. It's not going to happen in a minute's notice. Of course, we still don't have a price or release date just yet, but this feels like one small step closer to that becoming a reality. The PlayStation 5 is drawing closer and closer, people, and Sony is gearing up to take those all-important pre-orders. Will you do so direct from PlayStation?" They ask at Push Square. Personally, I don't even know if there are going to be enough consoles to go around this holiday season. It is no mystery that COVID-19 has impacted the production of hardware across the board. We see Nintendo struggling with this earlier in the year. It seems like production cycles have started to recover, but at the same time, if you have a very limited quantity, that can be one of two things. Legitimately, you could just have a very limited quantity. Alternatively, this could be a marketing strategy that makes you feel like you have to jump on and you have to spend $600 or more, depending on how expensive the console itself is actually going to be, as soon as the pre-orders go live, because you want access to the newest piece of hardware. And so what that reality is yet to be seen. But I think you could be seeing some kind of news regarding a release date and a pre-order price this week at Gamescom, and that is a very big order, but I think that Gamescom could be a good opportunity to make a splash, and a lot of people are saying that's not the way that it's going to go, and I can reasonably see that, but specifically talking about the Xbox Series X, it's still in the same boat. Although the pre-orders have not opened up or been teased, we still don't know how much the console cost or when it is coming out. And considering that the Xbox Series X was revealed during last year's Game Awards, it makes sense that you could be seeing the price and release date revealed at Gamescom. That wouldn't shock me at all. And so PlayStation normally does things a bit more elegantly, if you will. They like to do the random blog post on a Tuesday afternoon, so that could be the case that we see here. But it looks like things are starting to line up over there behind the scenes at PlayStation. And if you wanted to see what the website itself looked like, this is kind of what you get. You have a landing page with the two versions, then you have the PlayStation 5 is coming. Register for an opportunity to be one of the first to pre-order your PlayStation 5 console from PlayStation. And normally there is a little field to fill out here with your information, and you can find more information there as well. But if you are trying to pre-order directly from PlayStation, I wish you the best of luck, and I do hope this holiday we don't see the constraints too crippling for the industry, because there's nothing worse than having to wait for a console that you are perfectly ready and able to buy because of production issues. But again, I would just expect the worst and be surprised when the best comes around. That's kind of the way that I run my life. In the meantime, however, you might want to play some PlayStation Plus games, and September's free PlayStation Plus games include PUBG and Street Fighter V. Chicken dinners and shurikens are on the PlayStation Plus menu this September. Take on 99 other competitors in PUBG PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds or challenge the world's greatest warriors to a scrap and beat 'em up Street Fighter V. Let's take a closer look at both titles, they say at the PlayStation blog. How about we not? You know what both of these are. One's a Battle Royale that kind of kickstarted this hellscape of games that we have now, and the other is a very, very well-known fighting game. I won't go further into it, but these are still some very solid titles. As we get closer and closer to the PlayStation 5's launch, I am curious as to what the strategy is going to be for that when it comes to PlayStation Plus. But PUBG, again, very, very popular. On top of that, you have Street Fighter V, still an incredibly popular and competitive fighting game. So that gets me very excited for people to dive in and play. Personally, not going to be picking either of these up myself, but even if you don't plan on playing right off the bat, add them to your cart, check out, because you will still have access to them as long as you have a PlayStation Plus subscription, just in case you want to go back and play them at some point in the future. But that rounds out today's episode of the Jampack Report. If you enjoyed today's show, drop me a like down below and let me know what stories caught your eye. I would love to hear your thoughts on everything we talked about today, but specifically, what do you think about Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. But until tomorrow, you guys have a fantastic rest of your night. I'll talk to you soon, and peace.